Hello, everybody. This is Nityunjay Thakur, and this is the fifth lecture of the complete Python series that we have started. In this course, we are studying Python from very basic to advanced level. There's no requirement of prior knowledge to watch this video lecture series. You can, if you want to, you can watch this video lecture series from the first lecture. It is going to be very beneficial for you if this is your first time programming, or even if you have some knowledge about programming, and if you want to learn more, or if you want to learn Python, then this is going to be very easy for you to learn from this course. Okay, so I hope that all of you have uh, are solving some questions that I have given in the previous lecture. Okay, so and before I move on, I would like to tell you that this is going to be a very fantastic lecture for revision purpose as well. If you want to revise the specific topics, you can just come and watch this video at any point of time, before exam, before your interview, or any point of time. If you want to watch, you can definitely and come and watch this video. This is going to be very useful for you at any point of time. Okay, now before moving on, there's one more thing I would like to discuss, which is practicing a lot of questions. I have already said again a lot of times, but I would like to say this again. Please try to solve the questions that I have given you, that I give you, and if you want to solve more questions, you can just go on Google or use ChatGPT to get a lot more questions. Okay, so now we are going to start this lecture. Okay, so in this lecture we will be studying about a new topic, which is very important topic in any programming language. We will be studying about loops. So today's learning objectives are like, after completing this lecture, what we are going to learn. We will be learning what are loops, why are they used, where are they used, types of loops like while loop, for loop, what is the use of range function. So range is a function that we will be using with for loop. Okay, then we will be studying about nested loops. What are nested loops? Like when we use loops inside a loop, it is called nested loop. Just like we used in the conditional statements, nested ifs. So when we used if else inside a if condition, then it was called nested if. In the same way, if we use a loop inside a loop, it will be called nested loops. Okay, then we will be studying break, continue, and pass statement. What are the use of these statements, and how can we use them to use them and apply them in the concept of loops. Okay, then we will be solving some real world problems while using loops. Okay, I hope this will be beneficial for you, and please, this is going to be a very important topic. We will be discussing a lot of patterns as well, if you want. So I would like you to please keep the notebook with you, so that we can be so that you can note down some of the important points. Okay, so now let us move on. So first comes this, like, why do we need a loop? So suppose there is a task that requires same kind of code, suppose 100 times. Suppose there's a program, like there's a project in which you need something like you need to count something. Okay, so what you can do, so you can either print you if you need to count like 1 to 10, you can print 1, print 2, print in this way you can easily print up to number 10. But what if you have to count up to 1000? So you just cannot do so you can write print up to 1000 times, but what it will be very time consuming, and it won't be very efficient. Our code will be very lengthy and all. So we use loops to uh, we use loop to automate this. So when we use loop, we can easily write like even 3-4 lines. We can easily write a code which will give us which will print like which will count from 1 to 1000. Suppose like here I need to print welcome 5 times. So I will, without using loops, I need to write this like print welcome, print welcome, print welcome again and again, like 5 times. If I write this, then I will get the output. But this is very inefficient way. Okay, when we do in programming in real world sense, or when we need to build some big projects, so we cannot just write this in this format, because it will be like it will increase the size of our code, and it will also take a lot of more time, which we can uh, which we can use, like which we can use to for some other tasks. Okay, so we need loops for these kind of things. So now let us move on to the next slide, which says what is a loop. A loop is a repeatedly executed block of code until a specific condition is met. So when we create a loop, we always create a condition, so that we so that our computer can understand when it needs to stop this the specific task. Okay, so suppose you tell your computer, like suppose you tell someone to walk, okay, or to go somewhere. Okay, so if you do not specify the destination, suppose it is a robot, if you do not specify the destination, it will keep on moving. But if you specify a destination, it will go there, it will walk there, and it will stop there. So this is what we need a condition for the loop to stop at some point. Otherwise it will keep on printing again and again and again. So it will it will crash our program if we do not specify a condition for loop to stop. Okay, loop reduces code duplication, make program more efficient and readable. I've already said about this, that loops are used to automate, like, or those programs which are needed to be done again and again. Okay, so now let us move on with the types of loop. There are mainly two types of loop, which is for loop and while loop. Okay, these two are very important loops. Okay, so like now let us move on to the while loop. So what is while loop? While loop is one of the type of loops. Its syntax is like this: while condition statement. Now let us I would like you to move on to the VS code. Now we are moving on to the VS code. We will be writing a code, like we will be creating a loop. Okay, so now let's do this. Suppose I need to print something, right? If I need to print suppose I am printing I want to print hello, just like we need to print. There's one way, that is hello. If I need to print this hello 5 times, if I need to print this hello 5 times, what I can do, I can just write this print statement. I can write this print statement 5 times. Now I have written this print statement 5 times. If I am going to run this, okay, now we have got this hello world 5 times. Okay, so now when I run this, I get the output which I want. But what if I have to print this hello for like 1000 times? It will be very inefficient or very time consuming for me to write it in the write hello print hello for like 1000 times. So what I can do, I can use a loop. So for loop, what I will do is, suppose I will create a variable. Suppose I'm creating a variable count. I'm creating variable count, and I'm assigning 1 to it. I have assigned count equal to 1. Now if I do this, while I have written while, this is how we write while loop. After while, I will write the condition that until this, like as long as this condition is been fulfilled, we will be printing hello. Okay, so now I'm going to write while count is small, sorry, uh, while count is smaller than equal to, suppose, okay, while count is smaller than equals to 5, so we need to print this 5 times. So I'm writing while count is smaller than equals to 5. Okay, what we need to print, we need to print please look at this carefully. I have written like this, add this indentation. this indentation is necessary. As I have already talked about this indentation helps us to help the computer to understand the block of code, like the scope of the code block. So now at this point of time, this print is a part of this while block, okay, while loop. So now in the next line, what I'm going to do is, since count right now is a variable and it won't change right now, so what I am going to do is, if I update this count, if that I update this count every time, like suppose print is hello is printed once. Now if in the next line, if I write this like count equals to count plus 1, okay, if I write this, so what will happen now? First this hello is printed, and then the count, like the count will be updated and added one, and one will be added to it, so it will become something like this, like, so when the count is 1, print hello is printed, and the count will be updated to 2. When the count is 2, it will be updated to 3. So now if I'm going to run this, what is the output? As you can clearly see, the output is hello 5 times. Why? Because when what happens now is, first the count is 1, this here the count is 1, so the loop checks the condition. What is the value of count currently? Count is currently 1, so it will print hello, okay. Then in the next line it will update the count, like add 1 to it, so now count has become 2. Now again the control will shift to this while. Now it will again check the condition. What is the condition? Is count smaller than 5 or equal to 5? Right now count is 2, so since count is 2, now right now is count is 2, so it will print again. Why? Because 2 is smaller than or equal to 5, so it will print hello again, and 1 will be added to count. Now count has become 3. Now again it will check, this will check until 5, like when count becomes 5, it will print hello, okay. Why? Because 5 is equal to 5, because we are checking either it should be equal to 5 or smaller than 5. Right now 5 is equal to 5, like count is 5, so it will print hello. Then it will update count to like 6. Why? Count will, why? Because 1 will be added to count. Now again when it checks, like the control will be shifted here. Now it when it checks, because the condition is not being fulfilled. Why? Because count has now become 6. Now since 6 is greater than 5, so it will print and the loop will terminate, like loop will stop, loop will not run, okay. Now if I do this, like, now suppose if I don't write this line, if I don't write this line, now what happens is, it will keep on printing again and again. Why? Because count is, why? Because count is not being updated and the condition is true for every time, every case, so it won't stop. Now let me show you this. It is printing hello 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 hello. It will keep on going until the program crashes due to lack of memory, okay. So for while loop, we need to keep this in mind, that we need to definitely write a stopping condition to it. Otherwise, it will not stop. It will keep on going. Okay. So we need to keep this in mind, that stopping condition is necessary whenever we write a loop, while loop. We need a stopping condition. Now let us solve one more problem. Let us solve something like, if we want to like print something like count some from 1 to 100, okay, we need to count from 1 to 100. Right now I have, what I have done is, let us write this again so that you can understand again as well. So since we need to count from 1 to 100, I will create a variable which is count and assign 1 to it. Now I have assigned 1 to it. Now in the next line I will write while loop, while count. When do we need to stop count? At 100. So we will set this condition as like this: when count is smaller than equal to 100, until this condition is true, what we need to print? We need to print. Now how can we print how can we print the value that we like 1 2 3? We can simply print count. Why? Because we are updating count every time. count plus equals to 1. We have already learned about this operator, because this is called as add and assign. So we are using this. It is similar to count is equals to count plus 1. Okay, now what happens here is count right now is 1, so it checks this condition: is count smaller than 100? Yes, it is smaller than 100. So it will do this, like now it will print in the next line. It says print count, so it will print count. Okay, and then the count will be updated, like it will be added, 1 will be added to count. So in the when after this, the control will shift here again. It will check, is count smaller than 100? Right now count is 2 now. Why? Because we updated count and added 1 to it. Okay, now count is 2. So it checks this condition. The condition is being fulfilled, so it will print count again. But now right now count has been updated to 2, so 2 will be updated. Now let us see this. Is it true? Yes. As you can see, the this is what we wanted: 1 2 3 4 5 again, and it goes up until 100. Like as you can see, here's the last value, which is 100. Okay, I hope you have understood. Now if I want to print something, like if I want to print up to 10, like if I want to print up to 10, but if I want to print only the numbers, if I but I want to print only the numbers which is like even. Okay, even I want to print only even number. So what I can do is I can add another condition: and count modulo 2 equals to 0. So what will happen now is it will check this condition: is count smaller than 10 or equals to 10? If it is satisfied, it will check this condition. Then it will check this condition as well. If both of them are satisfied, like why are we checking this? Because we all know that if for a number to be even, if it is divided by 2, the remainder is always 0. So we are checking this. If these two are, like if both of them are like both of these conditions are true, then only it will print this number count. Okay, so now if I run this, just a minute. Now if I run this, sorry, what is happening? Hello. So here we are doing this. Okay, now I understood. We made a little like we caused a little problem here. So I wrote the wrong code. Why? Because what happens here is now like it checks this count, like count right now is 1 smaller than 10. True, but this condition is false. So since this condition is false, the whole like part is altogether skipped. So nothing is being printed. That is why. Okay, so if we want to print only even numbers, what we can do is just add 2 only. Okay, instead of starting like count from 2 1, start the count from 2 and add 2 of every time. So now it is printing the desired output, which is 2 4 6 8. This is what we wanted. So right now you need to keep this in mind, that right now I made a small mistake. Why? Because I added 2 conditions, so both of them were not being fulfilled, so nothing was being printed. So we need to keep this in mind, that uh, we need to keep this in mind, that we can even if we write the code like syntax correct, we can get error, which is called logical error, because right now the syntax was right, but the output was not matching. We have already discussed about these things in earlier lectures, where we discussed types of errors. This is called logical error, because I wrote the correct code with correct syntax, but my logic was little off, so I was not getting the desired output. This is what also known as logical error. Okay, now let us move on. We already have printed this. Now let us move on to the slides. So this is counting from 1 to 5. We already have done this. Now how while loop works. Okay, so what happens right now is, let me show you this. First, what happens is we write a like variable, like we create a variable, we initialize a variable. Initializing a variable means when we create a variable, we assign the value to it at the same time. So I am creating a variable and assigning a value to it. This is called initialization. Okay, so now I assigned a variable. Now what will happen now? Let us check. It checks the condition in the after the variable is initialized. The condition is being checked. There the condition is checked. If this condition is being fulfilled, if it is being fulfilled, then the block of code, then only the block of code is executed. Okay, sorry. Then this block of code is executed. After this execution, what will happen? We are updating the variable. If we do not update this variable, it will keep on printing again and again, because the variable will remain same and the condition will always be true. So we need to update this variable to reach the stopping condition. Okay, then this will repeat again and again until the condition is false. As you already have seen, this is like this stops only when count becomes 10. The count becomes 10, it will print 10, but after this the count will be updated to 12, but 12 is not smaller than 10, so it will not print 10 12. So the loop will stop and or terminate. Okay, now where it is said like infinite loop. What is an infinite loop? A loop which does not have any stopping condition. Okay, so it is called infinite loop. Why? When does it happen? When we do not update a variable or like set a stopping condition to it. Suppose if I do this, if I comment this out, it will keep on printing this. Okay, so this is so this is called a this is called infinite loop. So okay, and or it can be like this as well. Even if I update, if I do this, instead of writing this, if I write while true, I am doing this. Let's see what happens. As you can see, it is printing us some numbers. Okay, it will keep on printing. Why? Because this true condition, like I have written true, so this is always true. Since the condition is always true, this like print count will be printed and count will be updated as well. So count, we will get like a counting from 1 to I don't like infinite. So it will count up to infinity. Like let me show you this. It will count very fast, but we can see it like this. It will never stop. Only if the like program crashes it will stop, otherwise it will keep on printing this. Okay, so this is one of the examples of like infinite loop. So we here it is written as important, which is like we always need to ensure that there is a way to exit the loop. If we do not ensure that, our loop will never stop and it will keep on printing things again and again. So here we need to keep this point in mind, that we need to set a stopping condition for the loop. Okay, so now here is some real life example, like print a number between even numbers from 2 to 20. Let us solve this question. I'm creating a variable num equals to 2. Now what I am doing is I will check the condition while num smaller than equals to how much, 20. Until this is smaller than 20, we will be printing what? We will printing even numbers. So print right now num, and in next line we will update num by 2, because if we add 2, like we are in a way like writing a table. So when we add like 2, 4, 6, 8, it is nothing but table of 2, and a table of 2, whatever comes in table of 2 is an even number. So it will print us the required outcome, which is even number between 2 and 20. Let us see. As you can see, this is a table of 2, nothing but table of 2. 2 2s are 4, 2 3s are 6, 2 4s are 8. So this is what we get as an output, which is desired. Right now we need this output and we are getting this. Why? Because we have set the condition like this, which is first we have initialized the variable to num, which is and initialize it with 2, After that we have written a condition with while loop, while number is smaller than or equal to 2, until and unless our number is smaller than or equals to 2, this thing should be printed. So it is printing this, print number is printed, and we are updating the number each time by 2. Okay, now here comes the for loop. So just like while loop, we have another kind of loop which is called for loop. It is used for to iterate over sequence, like over a sequence such as string, list, tuple, or range. Okay, so let us first talk about something called range function. What is range function? So when I write this range and do this, this is called range function. So let's talk about range function first. This is range function which generates a sequence of number. Okay, so when I write this like range equals to 5, what it means, like this is the starting condition from like sorry when I write something like this, sorry, this is the better syntax. Range here, this first two, this is the starting condition. From here the count will start from 2, here the count is starting, and where it will end at this 11. The last second number is our stopping condition. Okay, this is our stopping condition. And the third number, this third two, this is our updation, like how much by how many number it will update and again. Let me show you this. When I write this like from the range 1 comma 3 comma 1, so what will happen now? It means it is 1 starts from 1, and it will iterate, like it will count to 3. Okay, like it will stop at 3, and each time 1 will be added to it. Let me show you this. So for, so like in the in while loop we had to create a variable. In similar way we will be creating a variable in the for loop as well, but we have an advantage here in for loop. We do not need to create like a variable like this. Like if we want to create it, we can create it like this. For I in, this is range 1 comma 5 comma 1, print I. So here what happens is we have created a for loop. It says like for I this I variable in range, like I, where does I starts from 1, where it will end at 5, or I in range 5. Okay, like so I will start from 1. Then since the updation condition is like every time after every iteration, like after every time a loop runs, 1 will be added to it. So I will first I will, it will print 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. So let me also remind you that this 5 is not included in this counting. So 5 will not be included. First condition is included, like this starting will be included obviously, but this ending is not included. Before 5 it will end at 4, so it will print up to 4. And okay, but if I, this is also very valid in the case of for loop. We do not need to explicitly create a variable I before. Even if we do this like this here and run this, it will still not give us any error. It will like print it very beautifully, okay, without any issue. Now when we do this, there's, we generally do not, if we want to like update the value by 1 every time, we do not need to write this, because it is already understood by our computer that if I have written only these two things, it will add only 1 at a time. So let me show you this as well. 1 2 3 4 5, this we write this only when we need to like update it like this. If I want to add 2 every time, then only I will write this. Okay, 1 and 3. Also keep this in mind, if like only one digit is written, okay, like suppose 5 is written, then if I run this, then also like then it will print up to 5, but the starting condition will be 0. Like before, the starting condition was like this: 1 comma 5. So if I write only 5, it actually, if I write only 5, it actually means it is written 0 comma 5 comma 1. This thing, or and this thing, these two are same. Let me show you this: 0 comma 5 comma 1. Now I am going to run this. Same thing is being printed, and if I write only 5, same will be printed from 0 to 4, as you can see already. Okay, we have already seen that same thing is being printed again. Here is example of for loop which we have already done, like we printed from 1 to 5. Okay, now printing names. So first let me tell you something about lists. Okay, so when we create a variable like this, I have created a variable like a, and we assign one, and we can assign only one value to it, like 15. I have 15, but if I want to add, like assign two variables like 12, 30, 133, will it what will happen now? If I print now a, as you can see, it is printing us something like this. This is called tuple. So if we want to assign several variables to a several values to a variable, we create something like list or tuple. So right now we are talking about list. So for creating a list, we will create this, like write this box like parenthesis. Okay, then we will assign it, so we can assign different kind of values to it. Okay, suppose 12. Now if I want to assign it like some character like ABC, then I write 3. Everything is valid. Okay, now if I iterate over, like if I write something like for I in range, wait, sorry, for I in I want to like print every individual values like 12 separately, ABC separately, and 3 separately. What I can do is, for I in A, what do I need to print? So print A I. Now this is going to print us, sorry, for I in range 5. Now if I write this, sorry, if I write this, it will print us the desired thing like 12 ABC and 3. What is happening here is, first I have created a list which is 12 ABC and 3. Now I am writing like in the loop I have done this, like created a variable I and counting it from 1 0 1 2. So if I, like in the next line, I am using these indexes, like this is as an index and printing the values present in the list. Okay, this is what happening. Yeah. Now we will be talking about nested loops. Okay, so when we use a loop inside a loop, sorry, when we use a loop inside a loop, then it is called nested loops. Okay, so when do we need to use this? Suppose I need to print something like, if suppose I need to, like, let's take the example from the slides. Suppose I need to print something like this. Suppose I need to print pairs like 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3, something like this. Like suppose this: for I in range 1 comma 2, sorry, I comma j. You will see like this. Okay, so if I want to print this like something like in this format, 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 1, 3 comma 2, 4 comma 4, I can like print this with the help of these two uh, these nested loops. So what happens here is now first I have created a variable I. It will iterate over 1 2 5. Okay, and then I have created another variable inside the same in another loop. Okay, in this loop, like this loop is like this loop is part of the above like upper loop like this is the main loop, and this is its sub loop. Like this loop is present inside this loop. So when I create this loop, and first it will what will happen is like first right now variable I equals to 1, like right now value of I is 1. Okay, so after for 1 it will check this, like right now variable value of variable j is also 1, so it will print I comma j, which is 1 comma 1. Okay, after printing this, the like condition will like loop control will come here again, here, not here, not above. Right now this inner loop will run completely, then the control will shift to this part as like first loop, like main loop. Okay, so and again like the loop control will shift here, and it will print like a j. Now j will become 2. Okay, since we are iterating over, we have already printed j equals to 1. In the next time the run loop runs, the value of j will have become 2. So right now the two we the thing that is going to be printed is 2, like I comma j is is still 1, but j has been now j is 2, so 1 comma 2 is now printed. After this loop completely runs, the condition will shift to this loop. Now the loop, now I has become 2. Since I has become 2, it will now again start like this inner loop will run again from 1 comma 3. So that is why it is printing 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 2 comma 1, and 2 comma 2, etc. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now comes the break statement. Okay, break statement. Okay, now we will be discussing break statement. What is break statement? So suppose something like this. Okay, we have written a condition here for I in range 1 comma 5. Suppose we need to we are doing this like we are printing something called, if we need to print you. Right now I have created a very sorry let me rephrase this. This is a loop we have created for I in range 1 comma 5. Right now it will, what will happen is I will iterate from start from 1 and it will go up to 4, then it will stop. But if I want to stop it like at somewhere in between, suppose whenever and suppose whenever an even number comes, okay, I need this to stop, like I need this loop to stop. So if for that reason I will do this like something like this. Okay, if I modulo 2 2 equals to 0, what I want it to do is what I want it to stop. For this I will use a keyword which is break. This is important. Okay, now it will do some, since I have written this, when this condition is fulfilled, the loop will terminate automatically. It won't like reach up to all these conditions. It will terminate, and if this condition is not being fulfilled, I want it to print I. Okay, so let us now check this. It is only printing 1. Why it is printing only 1? Because right now whenever when I do this, like I right now is 1. So when I divide I2 by 2, it is the output is not 0. Output is something like the remainder is not 0. Remainder is something different. Okay, so it does not break. But in the next time the loop runs, now the I has become 2. Since 2 is an even number, and when I divide 2 by 2, it will give us like 0 as remainder. So this condition is now fulfilled. This will happen like, and so this will execute and the loop will break. Okay, so we need to keep this in mind, that whenever we run create a loop, and if we want to like break the loop at some specific conditions, we can uh, like we can use break. Suppose if I want to stop it at some point, when if I want to like stop it like here, if I want that I like this loop should break when the I becomes like square, like if I become um, now let us think a condition when I becomes suppose 3. Now if I becomes 3, I want this to loop to terminate. Now if I run this, we will get 1 comma 1 and 2 as an output. Why? Because when I becomes 3, the loop terminates, this line is not printed. Okay, and there's similar like there's something called break, like this similar to break. There's a new key, other keyword, another keyword which is called continue. What continue does is, instead of breaking that like loop at that point, the loop skips that iteration. Means when I run this, it will skip 3. Why? This is the work of like this is what continue does. Instead of breaking, like in the break statement, we what was happening, whenever I was like 3, it was like the loop was getting terminated. But here when I becomes 3, that like that portion, like that at that time, the loop skips itself, and the control shifts again here. Like whenever it checks, like when I happens like I becomes 3, it will just go at this line, it will continue means the like the loop control will shift here again, and I will change, so I will become 4, which is going to be printed. Okay, and suppose something like this, if I want to print even number only. Now if I want to print even number only, I will do this. If I modulo 2 equals to 0, sorry, is not equals to 0, is not equal to 0, I want it to skip those things. Now what will happen is, it will print us the desired outcome, which is 2 4 6 8. Why? Because it is skipping those values which is satisfying this condition. Like odd number, all the odd numbers are being skipped. Why? Because this condition is being satisfied by those odd numbers. Okay, now let us move on to like pass state. We have discussed break, we have discussed continue, and now we will be discussing pass. What is pass statement? Suppose we are creating a very big program, or we are creating a project, and we need to write, like we have thought about a concept, but we are not ready to like write full code of it right now. But if we skip like run this like this is going to give us an error. But if I want to keep this that thing right now as well, because I will work on this sometimes later, so I can use a statement called pass statement. Now if I do this, this whole loop will not give us an error, it will be ignored totally. So now if I suppose if I print something in the next line, hello, now let us check. Hello is getting printed, but this portion, like this whole block, is completely ignored. There's no this is what it is used for. So if I want to like write some code, but and I right now I don't want to write it completely, so to prevent it from giving us error, we use pass statement. Pass statement does this, like it passes through it, it does not count it, like it does not try to execute it. Okay, this is the use of pass statement. I hope you understood this. Now let us move on. Like um, difference between break and continue. So break, what does it do? It stops the loop completely. Break stops, but continue, what continue does is like it skips the current iteration. In the current iteration, suppose we wanted to skip the like when I becomes 3, we have already discussed it. It will skip that part only. Okay, but in break, like when we use break, it will break the loop, it will stop the loop at that point. Okay, when we use break, the loop ends, but in continue the loop continues, like loop skips that part and continue again. While versus for loop, while loop is condition based, for loop is sequence based, as we have discussed already. Because when we set some condition, like if until unless that condition is true, the while loop is executed. But in for loops we have used like something thing called range, and then we have used that. Okay, now when we used when do we use while loop and when do we use for loop? Suppose there is a very big file, like something like very big file where a lot of uh, data is there, but we do not know how many like data is there, how many, suppose there's a lot of names in there, but we do not know how many names are there. So for that, at that time we will be using while loop and writing a condition and using while loop. Why? Because we do not need the end condition, but for loop we need the end condition. We need the to know how many number of iterations are there. Okay, now we will be making a creating a pattern. Okay, this pattern thing is very important. Okay, a lot of is like we are being, whenever you go for a placement or placement drive or some interview, you will be asked pattern a lot. You can expect them to ask you patterns. Why? Because this is what helps us to strengthen our logic. Okay, so you need to know patterns, so we will be discussing patterns. So now let us create some patterns like this. The start pattern, we will be creating this right angle start pattern. Okay, I want you to open your VS Code and we will be creating a logic for this. So first, let us analyze this pattern. It has like one star, then 2 stars, then 3 stars, and all like 4 and 5. We need to print something like this in a triangular format. So let us do this. We will be using nested for loop for this. Okay, for I in range. How many do we need to create? So we need to create like 5, like for I in range 5, for j in range 5. How many do we need to create? As you can already see, we need to create a right triangle with this star. So we'll be doing this like, for this we what we can do, we need something, we need it to print only like if I equals to 1, we need it to print only 1 star, like 1 star. If I equals to true 2, we need it to print 2 stars. If I equals to 3, we need it to print 3 stars. Okay, so it will be something like this. So like right, when I equals to 1, it will print us only 1 star. So when I equals to 2, so it will print us 2 stars. Sorry, it will be something like this. Now if I do this and run this, sorry, you need to keep this in mind as well, so that after every printing, like we need it to, sorry, now look at this, what is happening after, like when I is equals to 1, I is equals to 1, here like I goes from, sorry, I is equals to 0 to 4, it will start from 0 and end at 4, since we have range to 5. So when I is 0, at that time j is also 0. Okay, so when I is 0, j is 0, it won't print anything. Why? Because the range starts at 0 and then end at 0. So it won't print anything. When I becomes 1, when I becomes 1 and range of j becomes also 1. So it will print us it will print us star for once. Why? Because from j will be like something like this, like 0 comma I, it will be like this at that time. So it will print us star once. Then as you can see, I have written this like end equals to I have changed the printing format. Why? Because it is necessary. uh, because if I don't do this, if I do not write this, see what happens. It is going to print is in this format. Why? Because it is automatically set in this print statement that every printing, after every printing, the next print should be in the next line. So if I do this, it will be it will help us to get our desired output. Okay, I hope you understood. Now we will be creating a square start pattern. Square start pattern, how do we create it? Again, we create a for loop I in range 5, for j in range 5, print star and equals to, let's see what happens now. What are we getting? This is what we needed now. We are printing like square pattern, like star pattern, uh, in a square format. So this is what we get. When I start I starts from 1, it goes until 5. Okay, so when I, for every I, a star is printed how many times? 5 times. Okay, so that is what we are getting. Okay, now let us move on. This is some real world examples of loops. Okay, so the real world examples are like processing user input, reading files. Like when we read files, there are a lot of text in there, so we can use loops for that. Searching data, when we search a data in a huge database, we can use loops for that, because we do not cannot just manually check each and every data, because it will be very time consuming. So we can use loops for that. We use loops in games, machine learning, and automation. Like automation loops, the purpose of loops is a lot like automation. We use it to automate a lot of things. Like suppose we need to add like we have a list of numbers, like a lot of numbers variable, and we want to add one in each of the variables. So either we can do it manually, or we can use loops for that. Okay, again, here is some mini project, which is a multiplication table. I want you to do this, like using, I want you to do this mini project. Okay, the code is given there, the code is here. Let us just copy it and see the magic. Now if I run this, so if I run this and enter a number, suppose 10, what I am getting? Multiplication table of 10. So what is happening right now here is I have created like a number, means a variable which is number is created, and it is taken as an input from the user. When the user inputs it, then what happens? We have created a variable, like, sorry, a loop. In this loop, it goes from 1 to 11. Why? Because the standard table that we follow, it starts from 1 and ends at 10. So we needed to like last part, like last value in the range should be 11, so that it can go up to 10. Okay, then what are we printing? We are printing number x. Okay, like number into, so this x is nothing but sign for multiplication, and number into I, like number, we are printing like number into I. This is the multiplication table we are printing. Every time the number remains same, but this I keeps on changing. So number into 1, like 10 into 1, 10 into 2, 10 into 3, and all. This is what we are getting as an output. Okay, let us move on. Like password attempt, we can make a mini project in which we can give 3 attempts to the user, and if the user give us like a correct password within these 3 attempts, we can give them access. You can practice all these questions on your own. If you want to, like we have practiced a lot in from them, but if you want to, you can practice these questions. Okay, now this is your homework question. You need to print a Fibonacci series, print numbers between 1 to 10, 10 100 prime numbers from 1 to 100, displace different star patterns. We have already discussed two star patterns. You can, like, if you want, I can create a separate video for star patterns. If you want to, I will definitely create it, and you can uh, do all this. Now here comes the summary of this lecture. Okay, so let us summarize this lecture. Okay, so we have discussed what are loops, why is it important, why do we use loops, and where can we use loops, types of loops like while loop, for loop, what is the use of range function, what is range function. We have also like used nested loops. What are nested loops? We have discussed break, continue, and pass statements and all. We have also discussed some real world examples. Okay, so these are the things that we have discussed today. I hope you understood all of these things. I have given you a lot of questions to practice, and I want you to solve all those questions. Okay, because the more you will solve, the more you will understand. Here are these are the questions that I want you to solve. These are a lot of questions, like some mini projects as well. If you want to, if you can solve this, like, then you are on a right path. Okay, and I hope that this lecture was beneficial for you. Okay, and because I have given you a lot of contents today, it will take some time. If you did not understand some things, please do not worry. Slowly you will get to understand all of these things. Okay, uh, and before signing off, like before closing this lecture, I want you to believe in you, because I know these things are difficult. Like pattern was difficult for you because it takes a lot of time to build a logic. Like how can we approach the pattern? How can we solve those patterns? Because for the first, like beginner, if you are doing it for the first time, it is like it can be difficult for you. I can understand that, but when you solve some of the questions based on the patterns, it will help you to build your logic. It will help you to understand how do can you approach complex problems. Okay, how can you approach complex problems. It will help you in a lot of things. Okay, so I want you to watch this lecture. If you do not understand again, okay, watch this lecture and try to solve. If you I want you to solve all those patterns, and I want you to search those patterns on you, some new patterns on your own, and solve that, so that you can understand it better, and have you can improve your logic as well. Okay, so now before signing off, there's one more thing I would like to tell you, is that I want you to do some dry coding, dry run. What is dry run? When you build some logic in your notebook and try to approach, see what will happen if you write this code, it is called dry run. Okay, so I want you to dry run the code as well. The more you will learn, the more you will be able to understand the logic behind the question, code. So please do that as well. And I guess this is it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope this was beneficial to you. Again, I am Ritunjay Thakur. I am a student of I am a student and studying. I'm studying bachelor. I'm doing my pursuing my degree in bachelor's of technology in bachelor of technology and computer science. Okay, this is my field, and I hope you will be able to understand everything that I have given you up until now. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Goodbye. Thank you for this. Thank you for watching my video till the end. Thank you so much.